Hi everyone, my name is Jaelyn Severinsen and I'm going to be presenting to you about Bouquets to Art. So, what is Bouquets to Art? Bouquets to Art is an annual week-long floral fundraising event at the Fine Arts Museum of San Francisco. It features high-concept floral arrangements inspired by the permanent collection of the DeYoung Museum and the Legion of Honor. This event has raised millions for exhibitions, conservation, and education programs. So, how am I involved? I've been in Bouquets to Art 5 going on 6 times. My first year was with a team called Novo Bloom, and for the last 4 years, my mom and I have been working as a mother-daughter team known as Woodside Parker Design. So, as an exhibitor, there are rules you must follow. A museum is not a place where you can bring just anything. The importance of material restrictions is a real thing. For instance, on the prohibited materials list, exhibitors are not to use wood, dry florals, seed pods, or fabric. If I'm not sure, I always consult with one of the event managers about it. We also have the task of making sure we respect the painting's background and the viewers. Being thoughtful is key. Quality is also important. Self-harvested materials and materials with pests present are prohibited from entering the museum, but also exhibits with signs of wilt must be refreshed as needed or your exhibit will be removed. Okay, so now on to a fun part. So I will be showing you some work that I've done, some from Woodside Parker Design and some from Novo Bloom. So this was my first year as an exhibitor. I had a group of 3 for our team, and we were trying to capture the essence of the Blue Veil by Edmund Charles Tarbell. So some elements we used to capture this painting were an acrylic container that we made by hand, and we also used white phalaenopsis, Ludemanianas, and I believe some purple vandas. It's been so long since I did this one though, so please forgive me if there's anything I missed. In my second year, I worked on Sunlight and Shadow by Albert Bierstadt. So to show light and capture the essence of the background and pretty much the main things you see in this painting, we used quicksand roses, with some being dipped in a nude tone wax, like a light beige nude. We also made a cherub out of wax, which we put on a mirror in the background of the design, which was to represent the light and reflection that is often found in church. So in the courtyard of this painting, there is an olive tree. So we used olive branches to pay homage to that. And on the steps of the church is a mother or woman nursing her infant. The 2 characters are colors of red and blue. So we used red roses, and we also strung blue hyacinth with blue beads to represent the young boy. So this one is a painting where we really wanted to respect the background of the painting. It was very important in this case. The Old Banjo by William Keene symbolizes cultural resistance and perseverance of Black Americans throughout history. In this painting, I wanted to focus on who it was about, not what was painted. So I used straw flowers for the base, which made up the person, and straw flowers can mean immortality, but they also represent always remembered. We painted them gold, which often is related to prosperity, but also was a great way to highlight the power and beauty of being Black. The peonies have such a beautiful textural effect as wings, I thought, and in this piece they represent the power and resistance along with the perseverance and freedom. Okay, so on to Woman with a Corsage by Edmund Charles Tarbell. This piece is very soft tones and just overall very elegant. This display was mainly designed by Jamie, my mom, and head of Woodside Parker Design. And I believe she captured it beautifully, in my opinion. You'll see that she focused on using soft florals like peonies. We have some butterfly ranunculus, garden roses, and some double lilies, as well as many other beautiful things. But she wanted to portray the hair with ribbon. So in this case, we consulted with the manager of the event and had the okay to do so, which is very important. We also used white ribbon to further highlight the beauty of her dress, and a pink ribbon to highlight the sash. At the very top, with the show ribbons that represent the hair, you'll see black lace, which was actually an idea by Shasta College's very own Lamone Waite. Thank you to her for this contribution. Okay, so for my most recent design, this is from 2025 Legion of Honor. It's The Woman in Neapolitan Costume by Massimo Stanzione. So hopefully I didn't just date this video, but here's the design. I took the lead, but I wanted to show respect to my mom and dad. My mom thought of some of the key components like the feathers, the lace, and also how to make the hat. Now, I know you're probably thinking, feathers and lace, that's probably restricted items. Usually, yes, but this is where my dad comes in. He took the hard task of 3D printing lace and feathers, which were then painted by my mom and incorporated into the design. So here's a larger picture, and I'll kind of go through some of the elements. So these gold tone roses that you're seeing are called toffee roses. Those are the variety we chose to use for portrayal of the fabric on the dress that is kind of gold tone. We also used red peonies, smoke bush, and blue delphinium. You'll see our use of ribbon again, which has become kind of a staple in our design. And also you'll see the lace that was 3D printed and some of the 3D printed feathers poking out. At the top, there's the hat that we wove, and my mom actually painted it by hand to match it to the painting. So what's our process? Every florist has to go through a selection process before knowing what they will be portraying in this event. So that includes selecting a number of paintings that you would be interested in, and then the managers of the event go through and with their selection process then give you the information on what piece you will have about a month and a half before the event. So that's kind of like crunch time. Once you know what painting you're going to get, my next step has always been research. What's the meaning behind the painting? Should this be something that is going to contribute or change my idea? This is important, especially for pieces with cultural or religious symbolism, like the banjo, for instance. Next up is planning. To the right, you'll see these sketches. This is a big part in planning for us. Not only do we have to go through selection and research, but we really like to hand sketch our ideas and get them on paper so we can visualize together and work further to make these concepts a reality. You'll see that there's a really well done car drawing for an event we've done. That was not me. I'm just gonna put that out there. But nevertheless, I still use this as a big part of my process too. So for creating, this is the wild and fun part. I'm sure Darlene has talked to you guys a lot, and for this class that I'm in, I know she has talked to us a lot about hiding mechanics. This is a really big part in this museum, because in the museum, when people walk around your display, they see everything. So hiding your mechanics is really important. And creating designs that have that well thought out is very important too. Creating is a large process of all the things I mentioned previously, but for us, we always do it at home. You have the option of creating on site or from home, and we've always done it from home because you can make sure not to have any faults, like not having enough material, not having enough mechanics to make it a sturdy and stable piece, and so much more. It prevents disaster, essentially. Transportation is another thing, though. So now onto some noteworthy designs. These are designs that I've seen this year, and I'll be focusing a little bit on a special artist that I happen to be friends with. So this is Raul Dueños. He's the owner of Arty Floral and Event Design. He's a mastermind. This piece that is shown here is from Legion of Honor 2025, and it portrays the gates of hell. You can see the statue in the background of the flames that he made. Very cool. It was a huge process with lots of people involved. So here are some more designs. The two on the left side are from the Legion of Honor this year, and the one to the right was at De Young Museum. Okay, so here are a few more, and then I promise I will wrap this up. So this is a really cool piece here on the left. It was very small, but very impactful nevertheless. They used 3D printing for their container, and they also made use of a mirror, which I can appreciate as I've used both of those kind of materials before. I really enjoyed seeing this one. At the top right corner, you'll see Raul again. I wanted to include this, which is from a previous year, and mention the importance of how people design and what is important to them and how it shows through their design. Raul is always trying to capture the beauty and pay homage to Mexican culture. That is a big part of his designs, and he does a beautiful job, and it's always wonderful to have this in the museums. Below that, you'll see Superman with kryptonite. I thought this was really well done. Very cool. Okay, so that's it. Is there any questions that I can answer?